All right, everybody, welcome in and welcome back. Season 4, episode 28, aka our 139th show. Andy, we've had a bit of a recurring theme the last few podcasts with our teams.
We've had special guests starring in the background. And kind of honestly a good theme for this podcast is I think we're pretty happy. I think we're pretty happy with how our team's gone. I feel so much better than last year.
Yeah, is this what happiness feels like?
Yeah. It's like just contentment. Being like, hey, things are good. I can breathe. I don't have to get angry. That's a lot of work being angry. Holy cow. It's a lot.
So
but yeah,
true.
let's go to Barcelona, man. Like you guys are inching your way closer and closer to another La Liga title. I don't want to say it's, in the bag, knock on wood.
I mean,
But like feels like it's pretty much there, man.
yeah, it would be a monumental collapse if it didn't happen. So yeah, Barcelona got over the hump with a 2-1 win over Osasuna. So all the goals happened in the 80th minute onward, which was kind of nerve-wracking as that game went on.
Oh yeah, that's leaving it late, definitely.
Yep. But Lewandowski was kind of solo in the box. Rashford had the ball just outside the 18 on the right side. He kind of paused. Nobody put pressure on him, so he was able to signal to Lewandowski, and Lewandowski kind of signaled back, and he put the ball right on Lewandowski's head as he ran from behind the defender and ran around in front of the defender to put a nice header goal into the net. And then
Nice.
a few minutes later, Fermin Lopez threw ball into Ferran Torres, who megs the keeper for 2-0. And then, like 2 minutes later, Osasuna got their goal too. So it was a lot of action, kind of all happened at the end there. But
yeah,
it was much ado about nothing in the end with that Osasuna goal, because Barcelona gets the win 2-1. And what that means is Barcelona have an 11-point lead out of a remaining 12 points. So it would take a monumental collapse for Barcelona not to win. We would have to lose our last 4 matches.
Yeah, like lose out there. You would have to lose out.
Yeah,
for your matches. So, which I don't necessarily see that happening. So basically, with a point, I think you clinch. Correct. Or you need a win. A win, you clinch.
Yeah, when we clinch, you have to wait. If we draw one and lose the other 3, I think we would still clinch, because that would be because that would be 11 points dropped. It would come down to goal differential. So we need at least 2 ties in our final 4, or a win in one of our final 4. So, but Andy, that sets up this upcoming week because it's El Clasico.
That's right. Oh yes, that's right. So there's the potential that you guys could take it in the El Clasico
at home. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. So that would be exciting. The other storyline is Barcelona has I don't know if opportunity is the right word, but there's a chance if Barcelona lose to Real Madrid, we can still win the league. Mm-hmm. So we would lose both El Clásicos, regular season El Clásicos of the season, but still win the league. And I would have to go back and do some research and figure out when the last time that happened was, because that's not very common.
Yeah. It does sound like, because obviously, like, as the 2 top teams in La Liga, those would be the ones, like, you would have. Sometimes it would just come down to El Clasico, right? Like the head-to-head, so I would imagine. So that's a good factoid to know.
Yeah, if it happens, I'll do some research before the next one, and we'll figure out when the last time that happened was. So, yeah, we're feeling good, looking good, and looks like we're going to get some people back healthy going into El Clasico, which is always very helpful.
So. Nice, yeah. I guess now that, heading into El Clasico, what's your thought? Do you think it's going to be smooth sailing? Do you think they'll kind of Barcelona might hit a stumbling block here? Do you think Real Madrid's going to be up for it, or do you think Real Madrid's pretty much sailed in and like there's no chance for them back in?
Well, I'll tell you one player has sailed it in, but I'll cover that when we get to the La Liga portion of this podcast. But I think it'll be an interesting battle because Barcelona obviously want to win to beat Real Madrid to clinch the league title. And Real Madrid obviously are going to fight like crazy to not lose the title directly in a head-to-head matchup with Barcelona. So I think both teams are going to be extremely motivated for different reasons. But I mean, we're going to be at home. We have played excellently at home this season, and I think the Camp Nou is going to show up and show out as they always do, but especially for an El Clasico. So,
yeah, especially given what it's going to be if they win. So,
yeah, so it'll be interesting. But I think there's going to be goals scored, goals conceded. So I would love to clinch it on Real Madrid directly, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence of us keeping goals out, especially because Vinicius is going to be starting in this game, and Vinicius, when he starts without Mbappe, and we'll get to why no Mbappe here in a little bit, but you know, it's a much more dangerous Real Madrid team when it's just Vinicius on the field and no Mbappe.
Yeah, it is. It is. So it just kind of, that's like the one thing I was maybe thinking about is that might kind of change things, I think, with how things kind of operate with them. Sorry, trying to get my filter.
It's so funny. Right. It's so funny because you're trying to blur out Bridget in the background, but it's bye, Bridget.
It's still bye, hon. Have fun at volleyball.
Yeah.
Nothing I could do about that. Maybe we go for black. Maybe we go black on that segment for myself.
That was so good. So, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited because we're basically 2 draws or 1 win away from clinching, and I would love to win all 4 at the end because we would hit 100 points, which would be only the 3rd team in La Liga history to hit 100 points. Yeah. So.
Well, actually, now that I think of it, right, like if you're going against Real Madrid's the only one that can catch you.
Yep.
And they would have to win out in order to either overtake you. Right.
Yep.
Given where you're at now. So I guess if they draw, right, then they can only get.
Yeah, if it's a draw, it's over.
Because it does come down to goal differential, like you said, because they can still they'd only be able to get 10 points then from the remaining 4 games.
If it's a draw, it's still an 11-point differential, and there's only a total of 9 points left for both teams available.
Yeah. So if it's a draw or a win, they clinch.
Yeah.
So that's even better.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what I guess are you hoping to then see now from Barcelona and how they play?
El Clasico or post El Clasico?
I think just El Clasico, because I think that's the big game for them. Like that, I feel is, I
just wanted us to play how we've been playing all season. I want us to play free. I want us to play high attacking football, and would love to see us play smart, higher line in the defense. I don't want to watch Real Madrid running in behind us 7 times in this game.
Yeah.
Which And Barcelona, one thing I will say in the Osasuna game, Barcelona did a good job. There were several times where balls were played in over top behind the defense, and Barcelona did a very good job of getting back as a team, getting numbers back, stopping the advance, and making that 1 or 2 players stop and turn the ball back towards their own goal.
Yeah.
So I think that's encouraging, but Hansi's style. He plays with fire defensively in order to make fire offensively. It's just the style. So the nice thing is we won't have to worry about Mbappe. And again, I'll get to that in a minute. But it's nice not having to worry about both Vinicius and Mbappe running in behind.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes it a lot easier if you can just stop one person. It's more difficult to get to stop 2, but if you got just one down, that makes it a lot easier. So good luck with that for your derby.
Thank you.
Because it was Derby Delight over here in Manchester, in Manchester, with United going up against Liverpool for essentially for the Champions League, or at least 3rd place for the Champions League. United won the match 3-2. Great result. I want to say great performance. I think we had a great first half.
Mm-hmm.
in terms of how he's set up to hit um, Liverpool in the spaces that they were just where they weren't. So like kind of the idea of like hit him where they ain't things. We were able to get Bruno in the right spaces where he could affect the game. He absolutely did. Helping with the first or first goal came from Mateus Cunha from a corner trying to get recycled. So him putting us in front 1-0. Also in the second half, we get a goal. Um, cross across from Bruno Fernandes comes in. Goalkeeper for Liverpool comes out reason and gets a hand on it, which apparently now makes that no longer an assist. Um, and the ball ended up
I hate that.
bumbling into
It
it's the right technicality. It stinks, but like I get it. I
More
just wish that
stats. I'm in,
yeah.
I'm in the camp of more stats. Like, don't
Mhm.
penalize, take away assists. Like, give out more stats, give out assists. I mean,
Yeah.
give out hockey assists. Like
Yeah.
in soccer, it's almost more important the pass leading to the pass that created the goal.
Yeah.
Give out two
I
assists. I don't care.
I would I would think so. I guess from like a pure standpoint, I get it where like if the goalie like hits it, deflects it, that you want like a clean one. But I hear you in that it could have. It's still without that pass. There's no goal. So I think there was a bit of that. It obviously, of course, had to go to VAR check.
Of
Because
course.
as the goalie like deflected it, it hit Benjamin Sheshko, and the ball like hit and like went up on his body and had this backspin, and it like backspins with enough forward momentum to go and across the goal. But they had to look for a potential handball in the buildup of that goal, which, if you looked at it, it looks like there could be contact, but there's no definitive way because there's no change in the spin of the ball. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't speed up or anything.
Yep.
But again, this is where VAR comes in, where again, if it's supposed to be a clear and obvious thing, it should be like, hey, let's take a look at this because there's a clear and obvious error that maybe you want to go back on. But it was not
Mm-hmm.
clear and obvious. So a waste of 6 minutes to figure.
6. Gosh.
Yeah, yeah. So again, like that's the thing of VR just being incompatible with the game of you can't if you're going to be clear and obvious, it has the thing you're going to call it has to also be clear and
Yep.
obvious
Yep.
for that. So in any case, first half goes well. Second half, we gift Liverpool the lead. One from a crazy like hospital pass from Ahmad, and then even worse hospital pass. I asked Joey, my brother, who's a Liverpool fan, what that was like, and he told me that it's like, hey, you need a new keeper, and I'm like, no, Sonny Lamans is great. This was like the only mistake he's ever made, in this year, but it was atrocious. He played a 10-yard pass, and he was 8 meters off on that pass. It was really poor.
Mm.
So brings Liverpool back to the game, a game that they really have no business being in. 70th minute, the 70th, 80th minutes roll around. I think also again coming from a corner, coming in is none other than from all the ricochets in Kabi Menu, and he side foots it from distance, cleanly strikes it, just kind of like just glances and like glides off the grass into the lower left hand corner. Nothing the goalkeeper for Liverpool could do, nothing that Liverpool could do except just watch Kambi Manu celebrate as a local lad in a Manchester United Liverpool derby. Or so it was great for so many reasons. One biggest probably reason for the club, we're in the Champions League now. That's guaranteed. So we can look forward to that. Um, Helps financially. It helps recruitment wise. All these things. So it's good to be in the Champions League. Second big thing is Kavi Minu also signed a contract.
Ooh.
He's now going to be with us for 5 years and a 5-year deal, which is crazy thinking. Like, I remember we were on the podcast, we were even talking about how, Kabi may go and
Yep.
that he was not viewed as part of the project, which is crazy to think about because now he's been, in the past 3 games, he's been indispensable to how United play. It's incredible. Um, yeah, I was going to say, I think third thing is just great to see Bruno Fernandes playing the way he's playing. Didn't get an assist today or in the previous match, but I think the great thing is that he is getting the stats, and he's getting the stats that show how good of a player he is. And I really, really want him to get 20. If he can get 21 assists, I know it's 3 games to go. I think he's got to get it in case like anything happens. Like if he doesn't win a Premier League or anything, he can hang the hat on saying like, "Hey, this year in 2026, even when at some point we were like one of the worst teams, I still had the most assists that year and broke a record that's stood since Thierry Henry. So
Mm-hmm.
back in 20 or 2000,
Three.
2003. Yeah. So a 23-year record, him breaking that. So that'd be great to see. But it's just good to have the team coming together, having a team to be proud of, and having a manager you want to back
Yep.
for all of it. So, I can't complain. Soccer's going well. Now we can kind of watch and see what our team is going to look like and give some players and young kids opportunities. That's kind of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can clinch early, you get to see what the future looks like. So
Yep.
let's see what the future has in store for our clubs, Paul.
Yes. Let's.
So the vibe is feeling good there. We'll head now to the Bundesliga, Paul. Since honestly, since Bayern Munich have already qualified, I'm thinking we don't necessarily have to check in on them. The only thing
Sounds
we
good.
can check in on them is the Champions League. But in general, what I've seen now is that, or to kind of catch everybody up, Dortmund and Leipzig are second and third place teams, both lost. So they're still stuck at 67 and 62 points, with Leverkusen getting their win, which brings them now up to fourth place. Stuttgart drew, and that sends them actually out of the top 4. So they are now looking at the Europa places, but they are level with Bayer Leverkusen with 58 points. So there's still a lot to play for um, in in terms of qualifying for Europe. But it looks like with Dortmund, with their 67 points, they're going to be good for the Champions League, because I don't think there's any team that's going to be able to get them. They might be able to tie, but I think with the number and their goal differential, they're looking pretty strong there.
Yep.
So that's what we got. So second with Dortmund, followed by RB Leipzig, and then Bayer Leverkusen round off the top 4 spots in the Bundesliga, Paul.
Yeah, and then it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show, parts of the season, especially because usually our teams are not, last year aside, usually our teams are nowhere close to being in this area of the table. But it's my favorite section, the bottom battle, the battle for the bottom, as teams try to not get relegated.
The battle for the bottom.
Yep.
Oh, the great. No notes.
No notes.
Perfect.
No
No,
notes.
perfect.
Moving
Perfect.
on.
I wouldn't change it. No,
Yep.
I wouldn't change it.
So interestingly, in the Bundesliga, since they only have 18 teams in the league, which I don't know how that makes sense, since every other
Yeah, that
top league
doesn't.
has 20. But
Yeah.
because of that, only 2 teams get relegated, Andy. So right
Mm.
now, Heidenheim and St. Pauli are looking at those 2 spots. Heidenheim with 23, St. Pauli with 26. And Wolfsburg actually getting a draw this past weekend helped get them out of the relegation zone. They're also tied on 26. So
Yeah.
those 3 teams look like they're in the biggest danger of being relegated, but anything can happen over these last few weeks for
Yeah.
sure.
That is pretty tight. That is pretty tight because I know, right, if they're I think they only have maybe 2 more games
Yeah.
left
Yep.
in their season. So easy enough for Heidenheim to even sneak out if
Mm-hmm.
results go south for Wolfsburg and St. Pauli. So
Yes.
yeah, that's actually more exciting than I anticipated. So
Yep.
hey, maybe more reason to watch the Bundesliga for this. You have a Champions League battle and you have a relegation scrap,
Yep.
which could be quite fun there.
Yep.
Paul, let's go now over to Spain. What's happening in the rest of La Liga? We know what's going to happen next week, but tell us what has happened to kind of set the stage.
Yeah. So Real Madrid. Let me try that again. I don't know what accent that was. They ejected Espanyol 2-0, so that allows them to keep pace with Barcelona. And yeah, again, they technically still have a chance to win the league, albeit slim, but it is still technically there. Um, but I think the biggest news here, Andy, is Mbappe is quote unquote hurt and is done for the rest of the season. So I and a lot of people on the internet think, or I should say, a lot of people on the internet and I think that he is mailing it in to be fully healthy, quote unquote, fully healthy and rested for the World Cup, is what I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he has been seen on vacation in Italy with his girlfriend, not even with the team,
Yeah. Hmm.
which I think is awful. It's awful optics. And I think he's basically throwing a temper tantrum at how the team did this year. And I think it's caused a lot of his teammates, coaches, fans to call him out and um, basically kind of throw him under the bus because he's been throwing
Mm-hmm.
people under the bus. He's been getting into it with coaches. It's a mess over there.
Yeah.
So, you know, and with him not participating, I think it actually makes Real Madrid better because as a squad, they are better with when both he and Vinicius Jr. are not on the field at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes El Clasico a little bit more challenging, but it's just awful optics. And I don't understand how you can do that and be like, yeah, this is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird when people that you know like are if they're at Real Madrid, at Barcelona, or honestly any professional sports league that you are dealing with very competitive people for someone to just kind of say I don't want to compete anymore. I want to like save it for the future. It gives a lot of like the people sitting out of bowl games.
Yep.
But it's weird because Real Madrid still can do it. They still could
Yep.
at this moment overtake Barcelona. I don't think that they will. I don't want them to, but like theoretically it's still there. And like as a
Yes.
competitor, right, wouldn't you want to go, and what better way to kind of kickstart that off by going to Barcelona
Yeah.
to get the positive result there for them and say like, hey, this is we'll start the collapse kind of thing.
Yeah.
So very
Yeah. And
strange.
yeah. And I just think it shows his work ethic. And this has been noted by Luis Enrique when he was at PSG. It's been noted several managers. It's been noted by teammates, pundits, people who just watch him play. It's like the work ethic just isn't there. It's just pure raw talent, and he's got a lot of it. But just imagine how good he could be if he actually put work ethic in.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's not there. It's not 100% fully committed effort. So, I mean, if I were Real Madrid, I would release him from his contract and I would let him be somebody else's problem. You obviously money
Yeah.
is not an issue for you as a Real Madrid organization.
Mm-hmm.
Let him be somebody else's problem because guess what? I don't see this changing anytime soon for any club that he plays for.
No, no, I don't think so. Well, I think it's where it comes down to I think Florentino Perez, where it's his squad that he's kind of assembled. What's he going to do? Is he going to say like, "Hey, this is my really prized asset. I have the quote unquote the best player in the world." Is he going to do that? Is he going to say, "No, I don't think so. I think he's just going to say, "Well, I have my Rolls Royce of a player. It's the garage's fault. It's the maintenance guy's fault.
Yep.
that it's not running the way it is. Like I purchased
Yep.
this and it was I purchased this and this was the best. So it's if it's not performing, you know, it's going to be less and less on the actual the actual person. But in this
Yeah.
case, it really is Mbappe, I think.
Yeah. And I think I saw something interesting from, and I always forget, it's either A9 skills or AA9 skills. I don't remember which one it is. But he was talking about Florentino Perez has to make a decision that's in the best interest for Madrid as a club. Not
Mm.
Mbappe FC, not Vinicius Jr. FC, Camavinga FC, Jude Bellingham FC, Madrid, Real Madrid FC. You know, and I think that decision is get rid of the cancer that's in your locker room, no matter how well it's performing as a stats thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not delivering results.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Real Madrid is capable of doing that because all they care about is money.
Yeah.
And Mbappe puts butts in seats. He sells jerseys and he generates a lot of revenue for them.
Talk about
But
a
just,
bottom battle, just getting butts in seats.
yep,
That's
exactly.
it. Anyway.
Exactly. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens this summer. I think there's a lot of interesting changes, and we'll cover transfers and potential transfers and whatever else might happen this summer.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with Real Madrid. With the other two teams in the top four, Villarreal ended up lashing Levante 5-1, and then Atletico Madrid vexed Valencia 2-0. So Barcelona, again, 11 points clear, 88 points. Real Madrid, 77. Villarreal, 68. And Atletico Madrid, 63. So that's kind of where we sit, Andy, with the league results up at the top. And then going to the bottom of the battle of the bottom. This one's actually really interesting, Andy,
Mm-hmm.
because Barcelona. So it looks like Real Oviedo is going to be relegated, and it's not official yet, but they're at the bottom with 28 points. Levante has 33, and then Alaves has 36.
Mm-hmm.
But Andy, you have one team, Sevilla, at 37. You have one, two, three teams at 38, and then two teams at 39. So going all the way up to 12th place, you technically have teams that are still technically in the
Oh
relegation
wow.
battle.
Yeah. Wow. That's like pretty
So,
high up. That's like up to. I mean, that's mid table. Like
yep,
if someone's up to 12th,
yep,
they're not safe. Holy
yep.
cow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really
Whoa.
is crazy. So that one will be an interesting kind of aspect to watch here towards the end of the season. So that is where we are in Spain, Andy.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Excuse me. I think it's really interesting where it seems like this year that there is at least definitely in La Liga, but now that we've even seen a little bit of the Premier League, that there is a lot of parity in well, not necessarily that there isn't a lot of parity, but now it's kind of getting to if you're 10th, you really have to start looking down and trying to think of how you're going to try to punch up above your weight
Yep.
because if you're at 12th, but you're still, you still have every way to kind of go and hit a very like consistently bad streak, you can find yourself in deep trouble where like I thought it used to be like if you're 10th, 11th, 12th, maybe in the past, you felt pretty comfortable you're just going to stay around there where you knew you weren't going to get the results, but at least like you could get a draw and kind of hope for the best there. So, wow, lots of change
Mm-hmm.
happening in La Liga there.
Yes.
So, heading over to Italy and Serie A, Inter clinched this week with Napoli's draw. Um, and so Inter now have, I think, claimed their second in 3 years, second title in 3 years in Italy, which makes me a little sad because I don't like seeing a Milan team kind of win in Italy. But you know, there have been opportunities for Napoli to keep their Scudetto. Just wasn't meant to be this year. I think with their injuries, that kind of were injuries specifically to Kevin De Bruyne. That just didn't pan out for them. But what we do have is we have a battle for that Europa League spot, or sorry, the Champions League spot. So what we have is second through sixth looks like this. Napoli have 70, Milan have 67, Juve have 65, Roma have 64, and Como have 62. There's about 3 games left. So this could swing. You
Mm-hmm.
could potentially see Napoli dropping all the way down or dropping all the way down to the Europa League after this. I don't think that's likely, but very possible. Whereas you could have Como finding a way to get into the Champions League. I think big one is that a lot of people are looking at. I think are between Juve and Roma, and so updates for that particular battle is that Roma were able to beat Fiorentina this past week 4-0, really put a stomping on them. With Juve actually drawing against relegation Hellas Verona.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so a bad result for Juve. So there is a chance Roma might be able to get to Champions League. I was reading an article I think a couple weeks ago where Roma is kind of in a similar boat with United, where they really need Champions League to kind of make sense of their squad and their hopes for the squad, but also just in
Mm-hmm.
terms of making their budget. They need Champions League football for that. So lots to still play for in the top half of Serie A. The bottom half of Serie A, kind of a little interesting. We had heard this, I think, throughout the year where Fiorentina was either in the relegation zone or very much flirting with relegation. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. They have 37 points. Lecce underneath them with 32, Cremonese with 28, Verona with 20, and Pisa with 18. So to me, what that means is Verona and Pisa, they're already out. They're already relegated. There's no way they're going to get the number of points they need um, to get out of relegation. However, if Fiorentina just simply stop winning, there's a chance that Cremonese can catch up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and same with Lecce. So Fiorentina is in control of their destiny, but they just need points. Whereas Lecce and Cremonese they would need to find some wins because there's only 4 points separating them. They need to find that distance in between the two of them in their remaining matches. So this might be a relegation battle that I'll see if I'm not watching United with their or playing their young players there. So that's what we got heading in the Serie A. Serie C, they're getting also ready for the playoffs, so no matches this past week as they're getting ready for the playoff, which Cosenza is going to be a part of. Heading now
Exciting
to
stuff.
very exciting stuff. Heading to the Premier League, Paul. Um, ah, this
Don't
this
say it.
hurts. Oh, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say what I put down in the notes. What I will share is that Arsenal got back to their winning ways, 3-0 victory over Fulham, kind of pretty soundly with a 3-0 victory. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people saying that that's kind of what Arsenal needed is they needed a win where it was like an emphatic win, where it wasn't just a 1-0 that they've scraped on um, with a set piece goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not going to do that. Um, so that put the ball in City's court to kind of maintain pressure, and City faltered.
Fail.
They failed. They drew with Everton, and so they can no longer catch up just on their own accord. They're going to need
Yep.
uh, Arsenal to drop points and City to come back and have to win their remaining games. Um, is it possible? Yes. I actually think now that the lead up for Arsenal is actually I think a little bit easier than City's. Like if we look into the Premier League schedule, Arsenal will have to face West Ham.
Tough one.
Very tough one given they're now in a relegation spot. They will then have to face Burnley.
Also a really tough one.
Yeah,
Relegation team.
right. And then they end with Crystal Palace. whereas City have to play.
So sorry, 15th, 18th, and 19th.
Yes,
If they bottle this will be the biggest bottle of all the bottles.
it'll be huge. I think absolutely huge. Whereas City, they have to go now. They've dropped points against Everton. They now have to go. They'll have to play Crystal Palace because it's one of their makeup. That's I think their makeup game.
Okay.
They have to play Brentford,
okay,
who are a
7th.
team that's working for Europa League.
Yep.
Bournemouth, who are not they are not a slouch. Like they love playing and they can play. They can play with City.
That's 6 and 7 there, so both competing for European spots.
And then last game, Aston Villa, who'll need points to get into the Champions League.
5, 6, 7. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't
this
see
would
it now.
this would absolutely be the biggest bottle of Arsenal's bottles if it happens, for sure.
It would. It really would. And you know me, I'd love to see that happen, but
Yes.
I don't see that happening now, especially with Saka. Saka is definitely the reason why they were so good at the start and looking like that they were going to run away with the Premier League at the start. I think so. I'm gonna have to eat my words. I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna have to just never check on. I can't look at anything online for about 2 months.
Yep.
So we'll have that.
Yep.
Any case, looking into the bottom, I think the big thing is we've already have 2 relegated. It's really going to come down to who is left, and it really is between West Ham and Tottenham. It's just between them, I think.
Yeah, and Tottenham got a win and got out of the relegation zone.
They did. A pretty good win. And it's funny because it seemed like De Zerbi, who is now the new manager, he's been kind of talking about this and thinking like he's seeing light at the end of this crazy tunnel, which is impressive at thinking of that. And if he can turn it around, it'll be a great thing for him. But looking forward, who do Tottenham have to face? Well, Tottenham have to face Leeds. They have to face Chelsea. And they have to face Everton.
Which, by the way, Chelsea has lost 5 in a row now.
Yeah, Chelsea is not good. They have talent, but they are not playing as a team. So they can nick points there. Whereas West Ham, they have to go against Arsenal.
Ooh.
I don't know if they're thinking they're going to get points there. They're going to then have to face after they face Arsenal, they'll face Newcastle, and then they'll face Leeds in the final game. So
exciting stuff.
I don't know who has an easier run in because those are both pretty. I think technically West Ham because they have to face Arsenal, but
yeah,
I think they can go either way. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if it's going to be one of the giants of the Premier League going down or West Ham, who are also a historic club for the Premier League to go down. So a big name is going down either way.
Yep.
So we'll wait to see on how that goes on. Paul, break it down for us. What's happening in the Champions League?
Sure. So 3 games happened since we last chatted, Andy. One of those Bayern PSG first semifinal. It was absolute haymakers. 9 goals were scored in the first leg, Andy. And
amazing.
Yeah, it was 5-4 in favor of PSG. I'm not even going to go into VAR and decisions given for both teams that I'm not going to waste my breath. But the fact that some of these calls were called and VAR intervened and very similar things happened against Barcelona that was not given in favor of Barcelona is infuriating. But I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to waste my breath and get myself upset, and I'm in a good mood. So
yeah.
That game, second leg, will be tomorrow, and that'll determine who is in the final. Arsenal and Atletico Madrid played twice since we last chatted. 1-1 stalemate in the first leg, and then Arsenal go home victorious 1-0. And it was Saka, as you mentioned, Andy. He's been playing well recently, and he kind of showed up in the right spot. Goal poacher's goal. right on the goal line, getting a rebound from Oblak. And that was the difference. It was just 1-0, so 2-1 aggregate. And Arsenal's going to their first final Champions League anyway, in I don't even know how many years.
Yeah, I think the last time was when Thierry Henry was playing with
So
with
3.
Arsenal. So yeah, so in the early 2000s. So
So
man, just when you need Atletico Madrid, man, Atletico Madrid just is that team, man, where they will never do you a solid. Like obviously, if they beat you, like it really sucks. Hate losing to them. But there are some teams that like, oh, they'll do you a solid and like they'll beat another team for you. Nope, not Atletico Madrid.
Nope.
And not even
No.
City for that matter.
Yeah.
They don't do that for you. And it's like, what the hell?
I know you are upset, but I am happy because I don't have to watch Diego Simeone have a chance of winning a Champions League.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, the transfer rumors have been swirling for a few months now. I don't know if Barcelona has the capital, has the money for it, but Julian Alvarez has been rumored, which, you know, you can't put any money in that basket, but rumored to Barcelona. And I think it helps Barcelona's chance of him going trophyless the last 2 seasons with Atletico Madrid. If he wins a Champions League, I don't think he would leave. But going trophyless, and he looks over at Barcelona. Barcelona's won 5 titles in the last 2 years. I mean, again, I'd rather play for a winner.
Yeah,
but that's
I
just
think
me.
you would too. I think you would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that because is Julian Alvarez going to play Barcelona style? Is he going to like playing Barcelona style?
Yeah, I think that's a very valid question. I think he would play a good style because I think he plays a good possession ball. He's good at dropping back. He's great at pressing. All things which Hansi Flick values in a striker. You know, he's looking. I think his number one criteria for a striker is somebody who hustles.
Okay.
You know, and it's been tough with Lewandowski. I think he's doing his best, but he's older and he can't press for 90 minutes, which is why we haven't seen Lewandowski play a full 90 minutes in forever.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and Ferran Torres, you know, just doesn't have the quality at the end, whereas Julian Alvarez does. So, you know, it's been that. It's been Thuram. Like there have been different people linked, you know. I think if you're, you know, if Barcelona is able to wrap up the league and start playing with the lineup in the last 3 games, you know, I would consider putting Rashford up in that striker spot and seeing how he does.
Yeah.
You know, it's an option. You know, I'm even, you know, looking at, I forgot his name. Give me 1 second. I will find it here in a second.
Yeah. As you're doing that, it's interesting with Rashford because I know he would sometimes start to lead the line with United. I think when he was younger, he played that a little bit more, but he was more of that. He was more of that striker that ran off the shoulder, I guess, so to speak. So he would go like close to a center back, and then just run and look for a ball over the top. So I don't know. Having not seen Barcelona that much, I don't know if they would be feeding him in that way, or if he would need to be more of like that focal point and like hold the ball up more. I'm not sure what that looked like for him.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's just speculation. I don't know if Barcelona wants to pay him, you know, or pay I guess it's more the release clause for Barcelona to get him from United. So, but you know, there's also, I think, Ante Budimir, who plays for Osasuna, who has 16 goals this year. He's tied with Lamine Yamal. I mean, he played well. He didn't end up scoring, but he generated chances for Osasuna in this game this past weekend. I think he's been solid. He's a little bit older, so I don't know if he's a, you know, permanent solution, but he would definitely be a cheaper option, which Barcelona is always looking for cheaper options at that striker, you know, just in general. But options, you know, basically, long story short, we have options, and I would love to see Julian Alvarez change sides from the evil Black Knight empire of Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid and come to the good side, come to Barca.
Yeah, and hopefully they join with Rashford also in Barcelona. I think not that
you don't want him back.
I think that ship has sailed. I think
Okay.
he's. I wish he would never. Honestly, it's a point where like I wish he didn't leave, but I think
Right.
that he's already left. He's kind of signaled that intent of like he wants another challenge, and like fair
Yep.
play, absolutely fair play to him. I'd love it. Like I'd love it that if I would love that he, I would love it if he never left. But I think it was pretty apparent that like he wasn't doing what Eminem was asking him to do, and like you've got to go because regardless of whoever your manager is, you have to respect the club, you have to respect your teammates, and him not doing that disrespected the club and the teammates. So I think that ship has sailed. So I would really love it if we could get something for him,
Mm-hmm.
in that sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my stance
Hey,
on that.
you know what I'd love? Straight swap. You guys take Frankie De Jong, and we'll take Marcus Rashford.
I don't know if we could do. I wouldn't do that trade. I definitely wouldn't do that trade now. I think he's. I think Frankie is great. I don't know if he's going to be able to cope with the Premier League in the
Yeah,
same
that's.
year. Yeah.
I don't think he can cope with La Liga. That's why I want him gone.
Hey, he might maybe he goes to Italy. Honestly, wouldn't be maybe horrible. It's still a slower pace league there.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe that's his speed. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that, Paul. Yeah, should we go to Superduds?
Let's do it.
Yeah, Paul, tell me your give it rapid fire super sub and super dud.
I'm going Saka, super sub. I mean, to put Arsenal in their first Champions League final in years and years. It's
Mm,
just great. Hometown boy as well. Yeah, I just love the hometown kid story.
yeah,
No matter what club it is, it's always awesome to see. So
yeah, and Bukayo Saka is legit.
yeah.
Like I've heard people say nothing but praises of him as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and I really appreciate that. So him and Declan Rice, I do like those two characters or two personalities. Love seeing that. I just don't like their club at all.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
like their
okay.
fans. So
That's okay. Yep.
that's how it goes.
Yep. Super dud Andy has got to be Mbappe. I mean, we talked about it.
Mm,
I mean, just I have no words. I'm at a loss for words.
yeah.
Like you're quitting on your team
Have
is
you
what
heard
you're
the
doing.
petition? The fan petition?
Yes.
I saw something. Yeah, something
Yes.
crazy like that.
Yes. And I saw something where Barcelona fans are signing the other petition that are
To
telling
keep.
Mbappe to stay. And the one for
Yeah.
Mbappe to stay is just ahead of the one to get Mbappe to leave.
That's. I think that's That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that of fans like petitioning to get rid of a player like that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wild. I've
Yeah.
definitely seen of like fans turning. Easily see fans turning on players. I mean, look no farther than Harry Maguire, but I can't I can't think of a time where I've seen someone petition to say like we want him out and petition the club to get rid of him.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. And I don't
Yep.
know if they're actually petitioning the club. I just saw a petition and thought, okay, that
Yep.
might be the club.
Yep. It's
So
wild. Absolutely
that's
wild.
that's crazy. That's
Yep.
just crazy. All right. For my super sub and super sub I think is Carrick. Him coming in as interim this whole season, he did the mission. He got Champions League. The team was tasked with getting Champions League when they got rid of Amarim, and they brought in Carrick. And Carrick, he's really overall he's been faultless and flawless as a manager. Like his decisions, and again, we're looking at a team that at the time when he took it, this team was like on level with points with Tottenham, and look where Tottenham ended up in this season is in a relegation fight. So looking at that, taking that a team that like really was maybe starting to gel a little bit, but still just like lacking confidence and disjointed, for him to come in to recognize the best way to play with this team, a team that like the year before was 14th, 15th, and now taking that team to a champion to into the Champions League, that's incredible. He's done the best. Like he has the highest winning percentage out of anyone. I think even post Ferguson has a higher winning percentage. He's been faultless. So I hope they give him the job. I think he absolutely deserves it because no one else knows the job better than him. It'll definitely be a different job. It's different being a caretaker than being like the actual
Yep.
boss. But
100%.
shoot, you've had all your big name managers come in. You've had try to get up and coming managers coming in. Give it to Carrick. Give it to someone who understands and actually has shown he can win it. He can still win if things go bad. He can fall back, I think, and play a style that that players will play and they understand. So give it to him
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah, I think he's earned it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my little rant for Carrick. Super dud. I'm just going to give it to City. You had your chance to maintain it, and you're letting it. It feels like you're letting it slip. So thanks for polluting the internet, City, for what you did there. That's what we'll leave it on for that. So thanks guys for hanging with us for a longer podcast. I was a little bit more longer winded today, just with the excitement of United being back in the Champions League. It's a big thing, Paul. It's a big thing. But with that, guys, we'll be back next week. We'll talk a little bit about our clubs. We'll probably focus more on the other battles that are happening for your Champions League and the relegation battle. But until then, guys, keep watching the footy. I've been Andy. Paul's been Paul. And with that, I'm wishing you all a big old bye.